Good morning. To answer your question, yes. Because I know the texts are about to come. It's 8:03. Are y'all on this morning?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was waiting on. But we beat them to the punch. Who knows? Rodney Willis may even be up.
He may even have his coffee
at 8:03.
brewing.
I don't know if he's a coffee drinker. How do you know he's a coffee drinker?
I don't know. I guess because I drink coffee, I assume everyone is. That's not true.
Yeah.
That's when in journalism you never assume, and in life you don't assume. Right?
But so many do.
Yes.
Including us.
Yes.
Including us. Oh, man, big night of high school football, big day of college football. I was hoping, I got some things I got to do today. I was hoping to look at the schedule today. I hadn't really focused on the college schedule real hard.
It's awesome.
And, yeah, I know. And I was hoping the 12 o'clock games were duds, you know. And then the first one I see, Arkansas at Georgia, sitting there at noon.
Yeah, it's weird that one's at 12.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people, including myself, thought, well, that's going to be the 3:30 game on CBS.
But
that stuff's predetermined,
game.
You know, except for like when you get to the end of the year, and then they put their big matchup in that big SEC matchup. That's my game of the week every week. Whoever that SEC game is of the week at 3:30, that's the one I want to be in front of the TV for. But today, I'd rather see Arkansas, Georgia than Ole Miss, Alabama. And I don't know why, because they're combined 7-0. Arkansas, Georgia combined 8-0. But it just
I'm more interested in Alabama, Ole Miss because of Lane Kiffin, former OC at Bama, going against his mentor Nick Saban.
And Ole Miss has a really good quarterback.
Yeah,
well,
Matt Corral.
I'll tell you why I'm more interested in Arkansas and Georgia.
Yeah.
I expect the spread to be 7 or under, and I don't in Mississippi and Alabama.
Yeah, well.
Now, maybe I
think it's 15.
Miscalculating.
I think it's 15 with Alabama, Ole Miss.
And what about the second half?
Yeah.
Well, the actual spread for Georgia
know.
and Arkansas is 16.5.
I don't
which
get
is
that.
Surprising.
I don't get that. If that game was at Arkansas and I was picking today, I'd pick the Hogs. If it was at Arkansas. However, it's not at Arkansas. It's in Georgia, so you know I would definitely go with Georgia at home. And I won't be. Will you be shocked if Arkansas wins that game? I won't.
No.
The way they've been playing, you know.
No, I won't be shocked.
Yep, I love their coach. Say it every week. I know Sam Pittman, perfect name for an Arkansas coach.
I won't be shocked if Ole Miss beats Alabama.
I'll be more surprised by that. Especially in Tuscaloosa.
In Tuscaloosa, I will be surprised.
At some point in time, though.
The over-under is 80 for that game.
Well, I don't doubt it. Remember what it was last year?
81. I don't know.
No, those two teams combined.
63 to 48 last year.
Was it?
Yeah.
That was
No
unbelievable.
wonder. Okay. Can they roll in? How many do you think Ole Miss put up today on Alabama?
It won't be anywhere close to what they put up.
I think maybe in the 30s. Maybe. I'm saying maybe in the 30s.
Saban's had 365 days to steam about what his defense did last year.
Yep.
I see him getting in the 20s. I don't think they're going to have a big explosion against Bama today.
Yeah.
I could be totally wrong.
At some point, will Nick Saban ever lose to one of his former assistants? It's never happened, right? And, you know, I mean.
Well, it could happen against Lane Kiffin if they still keep meeting. It might happen in Oxford. I don't think it's going to happen in Tuscaloosa.
Will that be time to retire for Saban if he loses to one of his assistants?
Well, Kirby Smart is one of his former assistants, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Sarkisian, once Texas joins the conference, they'll play them on a more regular basis.
If Sarkisian is still at Texas.
Well, yeah, and if Saban is still coaching.
Yeah, I think it's more iffy.
Because wait a minute. It's not really more iffy because they say it could be, 4 or 5 years before they join the conference?
Yeah.
Well, the Big 12 is going to force them. They're going to make them, it's not going to happen before 2025, I don't think. And they're going to have the big payout. And
some disheartening news this week on the expanded playoffs. They said that it may take 4 or 5 years to
Kirk
come
Herbstreit,
on. That's good. Yeah. I mean, that's terrible.
Herbstreit said it accurately about a month ago. He said, they're going to fill it out 2012 to 2026. Nobody, I don't care what everybody says. That's when it will happen. which means we won't get an expanded playoff for 4 more years, probably. I don't like that.
No, I'm ready for it tomorrow.
Me too. I'm ready for it.
Well, not really tomorrow, because let's say go through with the regular
if
season.
we get some new faces in the Final Four, I'd be okay. I'm just tired of seeing the same faces.
Which that would give them reason not to expand.
Yeah.
And this year there will be at least a couple new teams because
Clemson's not going to be there. I think we can go ahead and say that their college playoff chances are pretty much damaged.
Somebody asked me last night at the game I covered, said, "How long you think till Clemson bounces back and is in the playoff picture?" And
next
I said,
year.
Yeah,
next
probably
year.
so. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't follow recruiting classes very close. I just don't have time, But you know that they're going to have players coming in, and they've got people that that they expect to step up and play that are already on the team now next year. I mean, the good programs like that, We wouldn't even be saying this had they won that game last Saturday.
We wouldn't be
You know what I'm saying? They were
it.
that close to winning that game. Yeah, they lost. They finally lost a game in an ACC game, and they lost to NC State. But we wouldn't even be talking about it had they won that game. They're still in the playoff picture.
Yeah, that's it. Well, they got the one loss to Georgia, which is the second-ranked team in the country. They're very much in it. So you're right. And one thing we're not giving teams enough time to evolve. Oklahoma's struggling, Clemson's struggling, but they might get better. I mean –
Here's my love and hate relationship with college football. I do love that every week is meaningful.
Yeah.
I do hate that every week is so meaningful, because if you lose early and you got 8 games left to play and people are already saying you're out of the playoff picture because you got 2 losses, that's sad. And if we had 12 teams, you wouldn't be.
Yeah. That's right.
If we had 12
That's
teams, you
what
would
I like
not
about
be.
the 12. Yeah. You still got a chance.
And to me, look at the NFL. It's not about what you're doing right now. It's how you're playing in December and January,
Yeah.
And that's what any sport, really, that's the way it is. But college football is kind of different because
it is.
Yeah, in the NFL, you just have to win enough to stay in it.
Get in the dance.
Yeah.
Win enough to get in the dance. Wasn't
We
the
know
Giants
that a
won?
9-7 team can win it all. The Giants
right?
did it.
9-7 and went on to win.
On the road, too, by the way.
Yeah, well, that's a given with that 9-7 record. But yeah, I'm excited about the college football day. I just don't have to see how I'm going to work it out. And also, we'll get into this in a little while too. We know of 2 high school games locally being played today at noon and 7:30. So, there's just a lot going on. And of course, I was already been told to not skip over the St. Louis Cardinals this morning and another sport, that we got to talk about, because guess what? We got 2 days left in the regular season of Major League Baseball, and the Cardinals, I think, now have won 99 out of the last 100 or something like that. I mean, they
17 in a row, then a loss. Then what have they done?
2 straight.
Yeah,
right. At least 2. I know they've won. I think they lost on Wednesday, right?
I wouldn't want to be the Dodgers and have to play them.
Yeah, Brett said he was hoping that they stayed on that win streak and didn't lose
I did want them to
until they were in that wild card game, and then there'd been really, really heavy pressure on them at that point.
Well, that's true.
Speaking of the Dodgers, they lost Kershaw last night.
I saw here
he probably won't pitch again.
It says Kershaw exits playoff status not looking great.
No, and he even said it himself.
Is it his back?
It's his elbow.
Yeah.
Well, Brett, do you think that the wear and tear of the years is it? I mean, he's had a tough year from injury standpoint. I mean, still got some good years ahead of him, or are we seeing him on the start of the downslide of his career?
Hey, he's not going to be what he what he was 5 years ago when he was winning Cy Youngs.
Right.
I don't think we'll see that Kershaw again.
Right.
But I still think he's got a few years left where he'll be one of their key starting pitchers if he stays with the team.
How old is he?
Well,
now?
yeah.
I think he's maybe 32 or 33.
That's
he sort of reminds me
not
the arc.
I mean, he's younger than Scherzer, several years younger than Scherzer.
Yeah, the arc of his career seems to be following Mad Bum's a little bit.
Yeah.
You get the greatness, and then you may not even be with that team eventually.
Bumgarner just made the mistake of going to Arizona. I mean, I don't know what.
I don't either.
Well, okay, paycheck. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, but could he not have got a similar paycheck with
I would think so.
other
I don't know.
more competitive teams?
I don't know.
By the way, something about Bumgarner I found out this week. He regularly shops at the Great Outdoors in Cherryville.
Is that right? Well, he's an outdoorsman,
He is.
so he loves the great outdoors.
Yep. People
Both
have seen
of
him there and gotten pictures with him and autographs. So.
Does he wear his Post 29 shirt when he comes to town?
He probably does it when he comes to Cherryville. He won't wear that one.
Wonder if he visits the Thirsty Beaver incognito.
Oh.
Well, we'll get into that in a little bit as
That
well.
the greatest PR thing that ever happened to the Thirsty
Oh my gosh!
Beaver.
Could you imagine the crowd they had? Probably the
boy.
last couple nights.
Wow. I want to go to the Thirsty Beaver because Jagger was there.
Here's the here's the first text of the day. He's talking to me first. That
You talking to me?
For covering the Cardinals, and then it says "Coming for you, Brett." The St. Louis
that's
Cardinals.
right.
So, how about that? A little
Probably
calling him out here.
That's from Butch,
on
of
on a
course.
Saturday morning. Yes.
I'm very concerned because in a one-game scenario, I mean,
Well, yeah.
anything can happen.
Sure.
And let's just for a minute.
In a
let's-
series, I think the Dodgers
people
would be favored over St. Louis, but
I may
Yes,
be
yes, they
worried
would.
but in a
yes.
one game, you know,
Right.
I mean,
Hey, if it's one game, I'd be scared to play Arizona.
yeah,
Or whoever.
Anybody.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't care who it is. I wanted to mention this, and you guys, I can't think of the guy's first name, the manager of the Cardinals, Schilt.
I don't know.
Anyway,
yeah.
his anybody that don't know, he used to coach Charlotte Post 262 Legion baseball, and
Oh,
is
that's
a
right.
graduate of Olympic
You
High
mentioned
School,
that before.
who, by the way, was in the news yesterday for not good reasons. But yeah, he's an Olympic graduate, a Charlotte guy, and now leading the Cardinals into the playoffs this coming week.
Has a Charlotte native, as a manager, ever won a division
Well,
or a
now
playoff
that's-
game?
I don't know. Did Tommy Helms ever manage? And
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
just,
Helms did
I mean,
manage.
he's the first name comes to my
That's
mind,
right.
but yeah,
Tommy Helm.
Lenny says Bumgarner wanted that $86 million for 5 years.
Okay.
So.
I don't know,
And then guess what? And after retirement, and he's sitting there on that $86 million, he's the one going to be smiling. He's not going to care what Arizona's record was.
Yeah, but it still diminishes his legacy
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
I don't care.
What's his record been since he's been there?
Not good.
Really?
Yeah.
Once you have so many millions, does it really matter? I mean, I know it does.
His,
but
his
it-
ERA hasn't been good either.
Yeah.
I mean, he just he hadn't been great. He's
No. But he doesn't have any. Well, obviously, it's a bad team.
Well, they got real good players. Didn't Paul Goldschmidt come from? That's just one name that stands out to me that left Arizona for $86 million, maybe.
Yeah.
So Arizona's basically joined Pittsburgh as stepping off places for 10 minutes and then you're gone.
Lenny says that Tommy Helms did coach the Cincinnati
I
Reds,
thought he
but
did.
now I don't. Obviously, he was never the coach, not the coach in their World Series days.
No,
Of course, it was
no.
Sparky,
Right.
but I would be anxious to go back and do the history and look and see how far he did get and what his major league coaching record was.
It sounds like a job for Lenny then. He's got the
Or Brett, he's pretty quick on those.
yeah. Brett's pretty quick
Yeah.
on his.
He's
phone.
quicker on the phone than I am on the computer. So
Yeah, me too. My God.
Major League Baseball last night. Speaking of the Reds, they lost last night to those powerful Pirates, 9-2. Pirates record an even. Well, I'm not saying 500 even. Okay, Pirates record 60-100 with 2 to go. 60 and 100 with 2
Proud
to go.
city brought to its knees.
Yeah. Yep, I can just see the Mazeroski statue up there weaping,
Yeah,
right
no
outside the
doubt.
baseball stadium.
No doubt.
Red Sox 4, Nationals 2. Now my Red Sox win. I'm not sure I want to see them in the
Oh,
wild
you've been
card.
saying that. Come
Hey,
on now.
I'm okay. Okay. Would you want to see your team go out there in a one-game scenario against the hated rival Dodgers and get beat 14-0? I'm just throwing it. That's a
Yeah.
possibility. That's a possibility for. Yes, it is Mike Schilt Schilt I knew. I couldn't remember the first name. I wanted to say Mike, and then I said, no, I'm getting confused with Mike Schmidt, But yes, it is Mike Schilt that leads the Cardinals now. The Rays over the Yankees last night, 4-3. The Tampa Rays, I was telling guys last night, they remind me of Alabama football. The names on the back change year after year. The wins don't.
I know.
It just continues. I don't know how they do it.
On the verge of 100.
On the verge of 100, yeah. And got 2 days to get the 100.
Probably get it.
Yep. The Jays beat the Orioles 6-4. The Phillies over the Marlins 5-0. Mets over the Braves 4-3. Indians over the Rangers 9-6. The White Sox beat the Tigers 8-1. The Royals beat the Twins 11-6. Athletics over the Astros 8-6. Cardinals over the Cubs 4-3. Become the masters of one-run games. Have the Cardinals during all this. The Rockies 9-7 over the Diamondbacks. We just mentioned those Diamondbacks 50-110, 10 games worse than those Pirates. I wouldn't have thought anybody was 10 games worse than the Pirates. Giants shut out the Padres 3-0. The Angels over the Mariners 2-1. That really hurts the Mariners as far as getting into the wild card slot.
One thing, David, I don't know whether you saw the little note, but the Giants they matched the most wins they've ever had.
I see that. And I did not read it till you said that, but that's so they should have an opportunity in 2 days here to eclipse the most wins that the Giants franchise, who's been around a long time, one of the oldest in their history, and that goes back to some very good teams. And the casual fan right now probably can't name you.
Well, that's
3 Giants.
That's the thing about this Giants team. Buster Posey, okay, most people know him, but do they know anybody else?
McCovey still at first.
Orlando Cepeda. Juan Marshall still on the mound.
Willie Mays.
Willie Mays in center field.
I mean, and that's probably one of those squads is probably the winningest team.
Yeah.
In a single season. But now this one's about to eclipse that, it would look like.
Yeah.
I mentioned the Angels 2-1 over the Mariners. The Dodgers 8-6 over the Milwaukee Brewers last night. Your division champs in Major League Baseball, the Tampa Bay Rays, George, who I text with a little bit over the last couple of days. The Tampa Bay Rays, the Chicago White Sox, the Houston Astros, all division champs. In the National League, the Braves have not sewn it up yet. Yes, they have.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I was reading that wrong. I was thinking it was.
Yeah, they just
84.
beat the Phillies in a series this week to win the division.
That's huge too. 86-73, and for all they've been through, this may be one of their best jobs and best managerial jobs ever for the Braves, with the amount of injuries that they've had to go through and still win that division. Don't get me wrong, it's definitely not the greatest division. I mean, the division winner in there has the worst record amongst the division winners, but they did what they had to do. I mean, still 86 wins is big for a team.
Here's my question, guys. When has it ever happened in Major League Baseball in the same division? You got the Giants with 106 wins, the Dodgers with 104. When's the last time two teams in the same division did that, if ever?
That can't happen very often.
I'm going to say
it
might have been Yankees-Red Sox at one point.
Yeah.
Somebody have to check on that and see. I know they've had some pretty good races.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, like the Mets.
This is
like the New York Mets.
The problem with the wild card is
that's the
the
problem.
Dodgers have the second best record in all of baseball.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to anybody.
And they're going to be in a one-game scenario.
Anybody about baseball that I've talked to that don't think this is screwed up, that the team with the worst record should be in the wild card game, not the team that wins 104 games. And
I agree.
Be in a one-game elimination game.
I agree.
It's a little crazy.
That's nuts.
But we can't change it this year. I can tell you that. We can't change it this year.
They should just go back away from the one game.
Exactly.
And just take 4 teams. Don't take a fifth.
If you're gonna do one game, that's right.
I agree.
Yeah, if you're only gonna do one game, I would say just don't even play it.
Or increase the number of teams like they did last year.
It's okay if that one game is between two teams that are 95 and 67. It's a little different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when you start getting in that 100 win
which is a very special season.
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. If the Dodgers win, nothing will happen.
Nope.
But if the Cardinals beat them, you'll see a change within a couple of years.
Yeah, probably.
Because
so.
the Dodgers are in the second biggest market in the country.
Yeah, because, well, I mean, honestly, as a baseball fan, I want that 104-win team in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know?
I want more than just one game. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, depending on how their pitching plays out, which I'm sure they're going to have it set up where either Scherzer or Buehler will pitch that game. But you could see the Dodgers win 105, 106 games and not even see one of those pitchers in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because only one of them is going to pitch. I mean, they could use one in relief, but.
Here's your stat of the week from Lenny, provided by Lenny. You ready for this? The Dodgers' last 59 games, they are 43-13. They've gained 2 games.
Well,
43-13. You don't even have to tell me what the record is, Mike. I can do math.
Yeah.
That means the Giants are 41-15. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
So because they picked up 2 games. Could you have done that math, Mike?
Yeah, even I could. the last 10 games have been telling. I mean, the Dodgers have won 8 out of 10, but the Giants have won 9 out of 10. So that's the way it's been.
It is.
And the Giants' magic number is 1, by the way.
Yeah.
1. Well, with 2 to go, it has to be.
Has to be 1.
Because they have the tiebreaker.
They have the tiebreaker. Didn't you tell me it was 10-9? It was that close or not?
Or no, I'm sorry. They did win the season series 10-9, but I think if they finish tied, I think they play 1 game.
Really?
For the division.
Even though the Giants.
I think so.
Because it's a division. It may be because it's a division, and I don't know.
Well, if not, the Giants would have already clinched it, right? Because they're two ahead with 2 to go.
Yeah, you're right. They would be clinched, yeah, because they own the tiebreaker. That is a good question. Lenny, I bet Lenny knows the answer to that if they'll play. Lenny's got a lot of spare time on his hands these days, like Mike Powell. They have a lot of spare time on their hands.
Yes, we do. Men of
but
leisure.
I mean, the Padres have pretty much folded.
I know.
And that's who the Giants are playing. So they're going to win one. They'll probably win both of these.
Well, let's face it. The Padres just played over their head for half a season is basically what it comes down to, right? I mean, I just don't think they're quite as.
And the Dodgers just beat them 9 straight over the past month or so.
Yep.
I mean, that's been the one team the Dodgers have consistently beat.
Lenny says give MLB credit for that, not for that stat. Okay, for that stat, yeah. He got it off of MLB. That's a good one. I mean, that really is a good one. It's amazing that a team has been that hot and gained 2 games.
Yeah.
43-13.
They've been the 2 best teams all year.
Records show it. How about the wild card standings going into the final weekend, the final 2 days? If it ended today, Boston at New York. I'm guessing that would be played either Tuesday or Wednesday, with a lot of rain coming to the East Coast. As well in the upcoming week, so look out. I don't know. You know, this may be one of them opportunities where you don't want to do it, but you wind up playing a game at 1 o'clock in the day just to get it in if you get a break. But Seattle and Toronto both sitting at just 1 game behind Boston. Should Boston lose the next 2, you got to figure Seattle or Toronto 1's going to slip into that spot. And that's pretty much all you got on that side. And then we know the wild card. It's been decided for over a week now. The Cardinals and the Dodgers are going to play. I'm assuming the Dodgers. Sorry, Brett.
It's the Giants aren't going to lose the last 2. Even if the Dodgers do win their last 2, the Giants will win one of theirs.
Yeah. I was right. Rodney says I was right. 2018, Boston 108-54. Yankees 162.
Well, there you go.
So I didn't realize it was that recent.
Yeah.
But
just go 3 years back.
I did think that was the
and that was the year Boston won the World Series.
And Lanny says, you, talking about me, you always say you want to see the best teams. Should we get rid of divisions and conferences in professional sports and take the top teams? Well, you know, years ago, Major League Baseball never had divisions.
No.
You didn't even have playoffs.
You didn't even have playoffs.
If you finished with the best record in the American League, you went to the World Series.
Yeah.
Same way with National League, you went to the World Series. Divisions, you can't do away. I would never do away with them, but I would. The NBA's one's got it right. I mean, let's face it.
Yeah, the
They
top
do.
8 teams from
Right.
each side.
The NBA
the top
does it
8
right.
records make
Yes.
the playoffs,
Yeah,
and they're seeded
no
in order.
argument about that.
Nothing to do with the.
They have divisions, and they don't mean anything.
They
You
have
just, You
divisions.
just play those teams more because of the
Number one,
proximity.
right? Number one cuts down on travel.
Yeah.
So if you got divisions, you cut down on travel, and like you said, the rivalries. If you live in the Northeast, you want to see Boston play the Yankees and the Orioles and you know Toronto. I mean, that's just the way it is. If you live on the West Coast, you want to see the Dodgers and the Giants play more than they play anybody else.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to leave those divisions intact. Just change the system and the way you just follow the NBA.
Yeah.
Follow the NBA's lead. NFL should do it too, right?
Hmm.
Would you put? We've seen this happen before. Would you put a 9-7 division champ at home against a 10-4 wild card
No.
team?
No,
That's
we've
not
seen
right.
7 and 9 teams at home.
In the
Yeah,
playoffs.
that's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
7 and 9, but no, I mean, we shouldn't have that.
Nope.
We shouldn't have that, you know. And a lot of these, you know, some of these teams are. Who was the NFC East champ a couple of years ago, or was it last year? Whenever.
Well, last year Washington's record wasn't good, but they got to host.
Yeah, I mean
Tampa.
and it, 90% of the time there's going to be a division that's not as good. You know, it's gonna make its rounds, but there's always going to be a division in every sport that's not as good.
I just heard an argument on ESPN on the way up here. Mel Kiper arguing that for the most part, home field advantage in the NFL is greatly exaggerated.
This
And
year,
he's got the
yes.
stats
Yes,
to
this
prove
year,
it.
yes. This year, yes. But I would say
Did the Giants care?
I would say in the history of NFL though, I would argue with him. But now, as far as this season, I would not, because
Of course, Tampa Bay did have home field for the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, I don't even count the Super Bowl.
I don't think it means that much in the regular season. I do still think it gives you an edge in the playoffs.
What was Green Bay's edge last year in the bitter cold against the Bucks?
Does home field play an effect in college football?
Oh yes. Oh,
So
yes.
see, you didn't even hesitate to answer on that one.
Well, college and pros are different.
yeah,
That's
I would
what I'm
like to
saying.
see. I would like to see what the home record is.
I would too.
Right now in college football.
Yeah, Mel didn't have time to get into all the statistical details, but
Yeah.
that was his argument.
Imagine the chaos if all 4 teams in the American League wild card tied tomorrow.
Ooh.
I want to see it. Let's have it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I'd like
Let's
to see
have
it.
that.
Let's see that happen.
Yeah, then they would play a little 4-team tournament.
We're going to take a time out. We're going to come back and we're going to look at the college football schedule today. I'm glad we spent this time on baseball though, because it's really good right now, and it's getting ready to hit its peak with the playoffs coming.
It's October, baby.
But as we go to break, this is my opinion on what's happening right now in Major League Baseball, and the Los Angeles Dodgers are being penalized for being in the National League West.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call 4 Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
All right, welcome back to Sports Talk. Rodney has trivia for me, but while I was making coffee, getting myself a very good Dunkin' Donut, which we enjoy every Saturday morning, courtesy of Brett.
In which Colin Cowherd says he's never had a donut in his life.
Yeah. You know what? By looking at him, I bet he's never played a sport in his life either. So, what do you think?
It's hard to tell about him.
He likes to talk.
He does.
But I'm going to get into Rodney's quick trivia question in a minute. But I did, while I was getting my coffee, I started thinking, he mentioned the 2018, the race between the Yankees and the Red Sox. And he did fail to mention that the 2018 Red Sox were world champions.
Yeah.
And he did.
I said that.
Yeah, you did.
And they beat the Dodgers.
He didn't. And he did. I don't even think I saw on there where he said that the Red Sox are the only team to win 4 in this millennium, right?
Pretty impressive.
Mike's Giants have 3.
They're going for their 4.
Going for their 4th.
Yeah, they are. Hey, wait a minute. The Red Sox are going for their 4th, too, as of today.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of teams are going for
they're
whatever.
5th. Excuse me, they're 5th.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I had to throw that in there. Now we're going to read what his trivia is. 2018 season was the first time either league had more than 2 teams win 100 or more games in the same season. Got that so far? That's not a question. That's a statement. The Boston Red Sox, Houston Astros, New York Yankees of the American League all won 100 games or more, with 2 led by rookie managers. No season had ever seen more than 100 wins from 2 rookie managers before. Who were they? The 2 rookie managers for those teams that won over 100 games. And that's just 3 years ago. So that ought to be pretty easy.
Well, one was Alex Cora.
Bingo.
Drawing a blank.
Was it Aaron Boone?
Bingo. Brett's
Yeah.
nailed it.
Okay.
Brett has nailed it. And both are still, even though Cora had a year off, both are still managing those respective teams.
Yeah, I like to put an asterisk beside
Laney
that
got
Red
it.
Sox championship.
Yeah.
They don't get as much heat as the Astros do for theirs.
You
but-
put asterisk beside it. I put stars beside it. Please highlight it any way you want. Championship, yeah, I know. If we're going to do that, we could put them beside a few of New England's and I don't know. Ever been any controversial champions in the NBA, or
if any of them Boston won.
now
I'm
any
sure.
college sport has
Yeah.
controversial champions, but it's a little different reason. But yeah.
No, I just say since Cora was on that Astros team as a bench manager or whatever you want to call him, he learned
Right. He learned
how to cheat from
at
the best.
insider trading. Is that what that's called? Got a couple things here I wanted to mention before we get into that college football schedule, which is really worth talking about today. Well, first, I wanted to say this morning. I saw Mick Jagger on Thursday, and I recognized him. And you guys did too. You guys were with me as we all 3 attended the Rolling Stones concert. But we wondered as we were going, because we never heard any real details. And I asked the question. I said, we need to find out. Are you going to have to show proof of vaccine? Are you going to have to show you've had a negative test and all this kind of stuff to get in the concert? Did you know that starts this week?
Oh.
Yes, it starts this week. And I don't know if it's North Carolina. I don't know if it's just Charlotte. But I saw on the news this morning that to go to a concert coming up, starting this coming week,
Indoor or outdoor?
you'll have to show proof of vaccine. Yeah. So, Mike, when you go see Pitbull next Saturday in Charlotte, that's the part I couldn't wait to tell. When Mike goes to the Pitbull concert Pitbull's in Charlotte next Saturday.
What venue is that?
Well, don't act like you're not going. Pitbull, you better have your.
I got those tickets months ago.
All pit bulls have to be vaccinated, right? So,
That's right. That's pretty good.
Yep.
Well,
But I'm not kidding about either one of those.
Yeah.
Pitbull is being in Charlotte next week. I saw it, which is the 9th. That's next Saturday, right? And
Speaking of next Saturday, Rolling Stones are in Nashville. If you guys want to make a
country
6-hour
music
drive.
capital of the world, and Mick will be there. I love 78.
he's probably going to love
moving like
that.
28.
He's probably going to love that concert being in Nashville because the Stones have always had a little
They do.
little country flavor in
Yeah.
their music.
Mm-hmm. Right, and that's a
Dead
Odd.
Flowers,
Very
Wild
odd.
Horses. Yeah,
Mhm.
a lot of them.
well. I thought the one the other night had a Let It Bleed. Had a little
It does.
Yeah.
A little honky
Country
tonk.
twang.
It does.
yeah, and of course, how do they sing about honky tonk women anyway?
Well, yeah. I forget about that.
Of course,
Because they have made their rounds.
they have visited. I was going to say there's probably
All of them except Charlie. He was a straight shooter.
it may not be a bar that Mick Jagger hadn't been in,
Yeah.
and we know he's been to the Thirsty Beaver, right? That's been one of the most popular things.
How many
Yeah,
bodyguards?
across the country?
USA
It is.
Today
Country
did a
makes
story
everything.
on it.
Yeah,
How many bodyguards do you think he had that night?
I
One.
bet he didn't have any.
I think one.
he had a
I think he
driver.
Yeah,
That's
but I
all?
think the driver might even be a bodyguard.
Yeah,
just
could have
somebody
been.
look after it.
A
But
guy like him just can't go out. I mean,
well, somebody took the picture,
yeah.
and I'm guessing that's what
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Is a body. He don't need to be. Somebody could recognize him and just I don't know, try to rob him,
Yeah.
who knows?
Or
the way
just
people are.
yeah. But I just think it's awesome that he just went out to a bar in Charlotte where he was playing. drank a beer.
Yeah.
And
with
had
a hat on. Now I want to ask you the question of the day. We've seen the picture, right? We've seen the picture of Mick he's outside the bar on the patio drinking a beer, and there's people in the picture.
Yeah.
Would you want to be one of the people in the picture?
Well, yeah. Why? Because I didn't recognize you? You wouldn't have recognized
I mean, you're going to have to take that heat.
Yeah, you do.
For the rest of your life. But I don't care.
The thing is,
I don't care. Put me in the picture.
Oh, he's just
I'm in the picture
he's
with
just
Mick
an
Jagger,
old long-haired dude.
If
Who
I'm
is
in the
that guy?
picture with Mick Jagger, I'll take it. You give me all the ribbon you want, I'll take it.
Well, not only did he have the beer, remember he made reference, he had some pimento cheese.
Yeah,
and he
did
wasn't
say
sure about that.
Yeah, he did say it that way.
Like he'd
Not
never
so
had
sure-
pimento
not so
cheese
sure about
before.
that. Yeah.
I don't think they have pimento cheese where he lives.
Where does he live?
Well, I'm sure
Los
he-
Angeles.
all over.
all
New
over,
York.
but
Yeah.
I think he probably, I don't know, wherever he wants to.
Yeah. It was a fun night. I'll put it that way. Rough morning, not for you guys on Friday morning. Rough morning for me on Friday morning, but it was well worth it. I'd do it again tomorrow if I had the opportunity.
I'm just how engaging they were.
Yeah.
I mean, with the crowd. I mean, they're just having a good time.
Yep.
I mean, both Brett and I have seen Dylan, and Dylan is completely different. He
Yeah.
never engages with the audience.
Yeah. I got a feeling that if you just sat down with Mick Jagger, you could just have a conversation for hours and hours, and if he wanted to spend the time, he could just talk to you, and I'd love to hear it too. You know?
Another little stat before we go on. In a typical concert, Jagger averages around 12 miles.
Yeah, Brett read that to me yesterday. He said he read that, and that's of running and walking.
Running
a lot
and
of it
walking,
running.
about 12
miles per concert.
12 miles per concert.
Well, a lot of people asked me yesterday about him being 78. I said he may be 78, but he moves around like he's 28.
Yeah,
and
he doesn't. Moves like Jagger, baby.
That's what's kept him young. That's what's
think it
kept
is.
him young and
I
in
think it
shape.
is.
And was it you, Brett, told me that whenever one of you two guys told me that when they had the year off because of COVID and weren't touring, he joined.
Yeah,
what?
he rented a dance studio.
Yeah,
and
to stay in shape.
Work on his moves. Yeah.
Great front man.
I still say the greatest front man ever.
Probably so.
When you talk about front men.
Now, as we move into college football, I want to get the opinion of guys the question I asked you guys the other night on the way home. Would you rather be Mick Jagger or Tom Brady?
Well, I think I answered mine.
Well, you know what? And it was a little different. It's easier to answer that night right after you've just watched one of them perform.
Yeah.
If you went and watched Brady win a Super Bowl and he threw 4 touchdown passes, you might change your mind right there on the spot, and it's his 7th Super Bowl. I mean, yeah. It just depends on what you like. And
That's right. Either one.
Both of them are pretty famous. Both of them are pretty wealthy.
Either one would be a good place.
Brett
to
said
be.
he would rather live Jagger's life.
I would.
And I'm not saying throw the age part out. Yeah, I know Tom Brady is half
44,
the age.
half the age. Yeah.
Got to throw the age part out. Tell me which one, and I just want
And
you
Mick,
to think.
I think it's awesome that Mick Jagger is still. He's 78. He's still performing at his peak, really, and he's selling out stadiums. Brady's not going to be able to do that when he's 78.
Well, he win a Super Bowl at 78. That's what I was getting ready to ask that. Will he get to the Super Bowl?
And one more point about Jagger, his voice has not faltered.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of singers, they get age on them, and they just don't have those pipes anymore. But I can't tell. I mean, to me, can you?
No, he sounded great.
Somebody made the comment last night that had a family member that was at the concert. Said that they thought that maybe that his mind slipped a little bit. If whoever was singing at the time might have forgot a word or two, they just threw the F-bomb in there to fill in.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't notice that, but I don't know if you guys did or not. But
Elvis was forgetting lyrics at 41, right? I mean,
hey, too many donuts.
Too many jelly donuts. Unlike Colin
He
Cowherd,
had
never had a donut.
He had Collins donuts.
He took all of Collins donuts for life.
All right, here we go, guys. Let's see. Why did it do that to me? It does it every single time. Last night, college football, BYU 34, Utah State 20. And the one Mike Powell told me about at the
Yeah,
game we were at.
Right.
Iowa put 31 points up in the second quarter at Maryland. 31 in the second quarter alone, beats Maryland 51-14. And Mike, yes, Maryland went into that game 4-0.
Well, just like they've done before, and then they get blitzed the rest of the year.
Is Iowa a national championship contender?
Yeah.
To be determined, but right now you got to put them in the conversation.
Are there, I don't know what their schedule's like. I'm not going to pull it up and look. You guys may want to, and just to see while we're talking about it. But if they have their biggest games at home, then they'll probably be in the Big Ten championship.
Well, they already have a signature win over Iowa State, right?
It's looking weaker.
Yeah.
But they're going to get a chance for more. They're at least going to play a couple of the good.
I love the Iowa program.
They play Penn
and
State
what they
next
do.
week.
In Iowa, right?
Yeah, at Iowa.
Yeah,
That's huge. That's huge.
Michigan State.
That's it, really. They don't play Michigan, State, or Ohio State.
Wow.
They play at Wisconsin.
Perfect year.
So you're telling me if they can beat Penn State at Iowa City
And
they
win
could,
at Wisconsin.
Yeah, that's not easy
Yeah.
at Camp Randall.
Yeah.
And they play Minnesota,
Run the table.
Nebraska, Northwestern, Purdue, Illinois.
Their problem is, though, Brett, they could slip up and lose any of those games that are on the road.
They got to go undefeated.
Yeah.
With that schedule, you got to go.
Gotta go
you got to go
undefeated.
undefeated.
Yeah.
I would just love to see, I don't care, Iowa, Penn State, Michigan, anybody but the Ohio State in the playoffs.
Butch is going to hammer you. He's coming for you now.
Well, Butch's allegiance goes with the capricious like the wind, whoever Kevin is.
How weird?
Butch
How
is gonna
weird
send
would
you a
it
Go
be?
Texas message.
I know.
How weird would it be to see 4 different teams in the playoff this year? 4 from last year.
that would
4
be
different teams
refreshing.
from last year.
Refreshing.
It won't happen.
I don't think it'll happen, but it
No.
could happen.
Yeah, that's the worst thing that ever happened to college football
Ohio State
in the long run.
Uh,
Because, like you guys said, they might go, do we really need
That's
to
right.
expand the
No,
playoffs?
just keep
if
it
that
at 4
happens,
for-
you
in
know?
perpetuity.
So I don't know if that would
Ohio
be
State
good or not.
still has a chance because
do.
their one loss was to Oregon,
Yeah, they still got a chance.
and they could run the table and win their conference
Yep.
and still get in. Clemson's
You know what?
not going to get in.
I'm going to say this.
Notre Dame, if Notre Dame loses one game, they won't get in.
There is no team in college football right now that's been as dominant as our last 5 national champs.
No.
I don't think. Do you? Is Alabama the best team? Maybe so. But
Yeah, they're
guess
not as
what?
good as they were last year.
No. I mean,
That
even
was,
if
one
they
of the,
are,
that was one of the great teams last
Florida
year.
played them really good. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Florida played them really good.
I
last
think
week.
Georgia might be better than Alabama this year.
Quite possibly.
Can Georgia get over that hump? 1980. That's been a long time.
Yeah, it has.
That has been a long time. 1980.
For a school that's a football factory
Mm-hmm.
like Georgia, and Derek, are you listening? Derek Smith?
Jarek's sleep.
Have a
Georgia's
1980? I mean,
Georgia's
boy.
next 4 are Arkansas, Auburn, Kentucky, and Florida.
That's
That's a pretty tough stretch to get through.
Don't count Kentucky out. Florida plays Kentucky today at Kentucky. If I had to bet money on it, I would bet on Florida. But Kentucky, if you've watched them play,
yeah.
they're
exactly.
pretty good.
Exactly.
They're pretty good. I mean, they are definitely an SEC football team. You know, I know their basketball is what's big there, but they have a pretty good football program, and it's Stoops, right? The
Mark
head
Stoops.
coach,
Yeah.
Bob's brother.
That's right.
Oh my goodness, Butch is talking about. He's talking about hanging with Kevin. He said, "I got to hang with my homeboy. Hell, I even pulled for Indiana when he was the
Well,
head
yeah,
coach
he
at
admits he
Indiana."
hangs with his homeboy. I get
That's
it.
what I absolutely would too. I don't blame him.
Yeah, he was an Indiana fan.
Yeah. I'll ask Butch, would you pull for him if he was coaching at Carolina, Butch? Would that be the hardest? I thought Lanny had a dog on a leash coming in the door. It's a rolling satchel. I thought
We didn't think the boss was going to show up.
I thought he
today.
was pulling Pitbull in here to show.
That's what I figured.
To show Mike.
I figured he had a 911 call somewhere.
So there you have it. Here we go. College football schedule. It escaped me here for a second. My computer this morning is jumping.
Yeah, give that BYU score.
over the
Future
play.
Big 12 team.
I did give that score.
Oh, you did? I'm
I
sorry.
gave it first.
Okay.
Yes, they rolled last night.
Houston, too. Another future Big 12 team.
It's just hard to get into Houston and Tulsa. But
Well, no, but
BYU has an
BYU
interesting schedule. Well, I mean, some pretty good teams on it. They already beat Utah, Arizona State, and now Utah State.
Well, those two are pretty good wins, Utah and Arizona State.
They got Boise State, Baylor, Washington State, Virginia, Idaho State, Georgia Southern, and USC. I mean,
Mostly Power 5 schools.
all over
That's
the country.
pretty good schedule.
With their
Mostly
schedule.
Power 5 schools.
I'd love to see BYU get in.
Yep.
It won't happen, but
Well, you know.
even if they go 11-0,
This
it won't
is
happen.
No,
well,
they don't have.
It might.
I mean, they don't play a
Because
top
we just
10
talked about
team.
not being the dominant team, and we could see 4 difference. And
Not even a
it
top.
might.
They don't play a top 20 team. But I do think it's a pretty good schedule.
It is. And if they decide, so if they go undefeated, then in that last game they beat USC decisively.
And one thing you have to think about, most of that schedule was made 4 years ago, and those teams may have been, top 20 or even some top 10s when they made the schedule.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Baylor's been good at times.
I think Baylor.
Boise State was better
Yeah, a
at
lot
that
better.
time.
They've been top 10 quite a few times.
I think BYU schedules, in a way that will keep them in the national limelight. Like you say, even if it was 4 years ago.
All right, here we
Ambitious
go.
schedule.
12 noon today, and I mean, it looks like maybe 10 to 15 games at noon today. Arkansas, Georgia, of course, is the highlight game, and I can't believe that game's at noon. I just can't believe that. Can you imagine what Athens is like right now? I mean, it's 3 hours to kickoff.
Yeah.
Got to be wide open. And I don't know, is game day there? Is that where they're at since it's an ESPN game? Or
are they in Tuscaloosa?
no? Yep.
I don't know.
That's right.
I don't know where they are.
Yep. I don't know. We'll find out when we get home, right? Let's see.
And there's a Auburn LSU game tonight in LSU. They could.
That'd be a good place to be. A night game in Baton Rouge is.
And that's an ESPN game.
Yeah.
Not at Alabama. That's a CBS game.
That's right.
Yeah, we said that. Or Mike did. We did. Mike did. But I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be really good. Michigan at Wisconsin at noon on Fox. Tennessee at Missouri at noon on the SEC network. Charlotte going to Illinois. I mean, Charlotte, stepping up, playing good football.
Mm-hmm.
I like their chances
Yeah.
in a game at Illinois. Pitt at Georgia Tech. What about Georgia Tech coming out of nowhere?
I can't even name the coach for the Ramblin' Wreck.
Bobby Ross.
How about Bobby
Yesteryear,
Dodd? If you want to go back to the
Way
60s.
back. Well, maybe the coach is named Bobby something.
Yeah.
Minnesota, Purdue, Duke, North Carolina. Who's going to win that one?
Wow, there's absolutely no buzz for that game, is there? I mean,
Carolina by 28.
I was going to say 21.
yeah.
Toledo, UMass, Texas, and TCU. High noon on ABC. How about that? Gunfight in Texas. I better not say that.
No, you can't
That's
use the
politically
gun.
College
Incorrect.
game day is in Athens, Georgia.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's very rare that they do one for the early game.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's the biggest game of the day, right? 8 and 2.
Well,
Number 8, number 2. Is anything bigger than that?
unless it would be Ole Miss versus Bama.
Nah, not to me.
Okay.
If that, like I said, if that one was in Mississippi, maybe so. But
All right.
I'll put it this way: I would take Arkansas and Georgia's chances to get in the playoff over Ole Miss.
Well, you like Arkansas's coach. So
Well, I do like their coach, but they're also
They
ranked.
still got to
number 8.
prove to me that they can do it. If they beat Georgia,
If they beat
I'm
Georgia and
convinced.
Georgia, yes.
I'm convinced.
Well, if they
Well-
play them within 7,
You know who plays next week? Ole Miss and Arkansas.
do they?
Yeah.
They keep rolling them out.
Yeah.
indeed.
Ole Miss has to
Southeast.
play.
I'm going to guess Arkansas' schedule's so brutal. There's no way they
Well,
can
look
go
at this is Ole Miss.
undefeated.
I'm going to name the
Or
good
one loss.
teams Ole Miss still plays: Alabama, Arkansas, LSU, Auburn, Texas A&M.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Is that all?
The
Mississippi
gauntlet.
State.
They're
I
running
don't
the
know How
gauntlet.
good they are.
Tough one. Caught me with donut. Minnesota, Purdue.
The old Oaken Bucket game.
You cover the first one.
I covered the first one in I think it was 38. I'm trying to remember.
Undefeated. Wake Forest
Yeah.
host Louisville. today. You rarely get to say undefeated Wake Forest this early in the season. Appalachian at Georgia State, Southern Cal at Colorado, Cincinnati at Notre Dame. You're going to be able to see that one, Brett, 2:30 today,
I'll do my
NBC.
best.
What do you think,
Number
Brett?
7 and number 9.
You're the Irish fan.
I mean, it's going to be hard for them to keep winning these games.
They get behind.
They're playing. I mean, they got a tough stretch here. Wisconsin. That Wisconsin game was a lot closer than the final score made it look. But
yeah.
But that was a big emotional win at Soldier Field, and Cincinnati's had a week off extra week to prepare. It won't be easy.
Brett told me that Notre Dame plays
Cincinnati's
how many
actually
ranked
favored.
teams this year? In the next 6 weeks, 5 weeks, whatever they play.
Well, they play a lot of teams that either are ranked or have been ranked during the season.
And Brett said all of them have a bye week before they play Notre Dame. How'd that happen? How do you let that happen? You're not supposed to let them all have a week off before they play.
Next week it's Virginia Tech, then Southern Cal, then North Carolina. I think all those teams have a week off between.
Yeah. And have that's weird. That's weird. Appalachian State at Georgia State today, playing down in Atlanta. I don't know if I skipped over that one or not. Maybe I did mention it. Ole Miss, Alabama, CBS at 3:30. Oregon at Stanford. Oklahoma at K-State. You worried, Mike?
I'm very worried because Kansas State has beaten the Sooners the last 2 years.
Really?
In a row.
2 in a row.
Yep.
Not ranked right now, K-State, but don't guess that really
They're
matters.
3-1. They lost last week at Oklahoma State.
Yeah, Kansas State could win that game. Absolutely.
Oh, Butch is correcting Mike Powell.
What is it?
Pardon, Professor, but Purdue and Indiana is the Oak and Bucket game.
Excuse me, sir. Thank you for correcting
Yeah,
me.
Minnesota and
Minnesota plays somebody for something.
Minnesota and Wisconsin have a game for
the Axe or something.
The Axe,
Yeah, something like
the
that.
Paul Bunyan Axe.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm sorry. Thank you, Butch, for correcting me. I know there's a lot of those games up there in the Big Ten at some point.
Hey, we need some correcting at times.
And it's usually the last game, right?
Quite
It's usually
often, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. Remember, just like in PTI, where we were wrong. Yep. If we do, let us know.
Ohio State at Rutgers. I don't think they'll have any problem with the Scarlet Knights today. Syracuse, Florida State, Texas Tech, West Virginia. That's an interesting matchup. West Virginia, I thought, looked really good defensively last week. Wasn't that last week when they played Oklahoma? Pretty close.
Yeah.
Let's see.
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
2 weeks. Other highlight games: Army at Ball State, Arkansas State, Georgia Southern, Florida, number 10 at Kentucky. I still think that's a very interesting matchup today in the SEC. Florida better not let its guard down. I know Florida's played a couple big games a couple weeks in a row.
Kentucky's 4-0 and not ranked. I bet they'll be ranked if they win this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'd be willing to say without a doubt. Mississippi State at Texas A&M, Baylor at Oklahoma State, Marshall, Middle Tennessee, Indiana's at Penn State, Boston College is at Clemson. Clemson rebound?
Yeah.
No,
I think they do.
They just got to get some offense
undefeated.
going.
It's early. A lot of people undefeated.
Yeah, but they also gave Clemson fits last year during Clemson's run to the semis.
Clemson by 21.
Okay.
Let's see, Nebraska at home against Northwestern. Battle of the Ends.
Mm-hmm.
Auburn at LSU. You guys mentioned that one a little bit ago. 12 hours of drinking before they kick off. That's the way they look at it down in Baton Rouge. They play those night games. They got plenty of time to get right.
I think LSU's starting to come around a little bit. It could be.
Last year, Auburn beat them 48-11. So this could be a revenge game for LSU. LSU favored by 3.
Butch says that the Schiano's team, we're talking about Rutgers today, 3-1, no walkover for the struggling Buckeyes. And you know what? He'll have them ready. I mean, they'll play Ohio State tough because that's could be a very signature type win should they pull off an upset and beat Ohio State. Washington at Oregon State, Arizona State at UCLA. And, of course, if you're up tonight, which I know Lanny will be, 11 o'clock start, Fresno State and Hawaii. You got money on that one, Brett?
Yeah. Fresno. I'll take Fresno.
They're ranked. 18th.
You'll take Fresno.
Yeah.
Oh man, they've been a hard out.
Yeah, they're good. They're pretty good.
Let's see,
Beat UCLA.
They beat UCLA, and Oregon
They
had to
lost
come from way behind
by a touchdown
Yeah.
to Oregon.
Yeah, I think Oregon was down 2 touchdowns at one time in that game. Great day of college football, and of course, I don't even have to go through the NFL games because we all know how good it is each and every week. I love the NFL a little more just because it's the most unpredictable sport in
And we don't have
America.
to wait long for these great games today. That's the good part.
Yeah. Well, that's good
Started
and bad.
early.
And but the one promising thing about the college football season, it's been a little bit unpredictable so far.
As I look outside, it doesn't look like it's going to get daylight today. So I'm surprised it's 9
A
o'clock.
smog alert again.
Of course, it could be our tinted windows. That's making
that does make it look
making it look
darker.
I hope it is. I see a little bit of sunshine before we get the next 5 days of rain, which we need. Don't get me wrong. We need it. It has been one dry late summer, early fall here.
Oh, yeah.
In these parts. Big day of college football. Big night last night of high school football, and some more coming up today. We're going to take a time out. We'll be back with high school football talk here in a moment.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stiefel Nicholas can assist you. Call Fort Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stiefel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
Welcome back. Did you hear that? We good? Welcome back to Sports Talk. David Keever, Mike Powell, Brett Keever with you on a Saturday morning. Been talking a lot of baseball, college football, just a touch of NFL. Of course, don't forget Major League Baseball playoffs. It'll be a fun week this week. I don't know who will have more fun this week, Mike or Brett. I know Lenny and I will suffer. I don't look for the Red Sox to be much of a – even if they get in, I don't look for them to be much of a factor. I think if they get in the playoffs, they're one and done.
But you have a reputation for poo-pooing your teams. Yeah. They've got a shot. They got a good shot.
Believe me, I know my team. I know when they have a shot and when they don't.
Okay.
This team does not have a shot. The only shot they got is if they're able to put Chris Sale on the mound and he has a phenomenal game in that one game. But then they're not going to win a series.
Okay.
They just won't. They're just not good enough. They're not.
No, they team.
The bullpen is so bad.
Right.
They're just not good enough. They could go in. I would not be comfortable if they went into the seventh inning leading 6-0 in a game because the bullpen. It's bad. Yeah. Ask Lenny. He'll tell you. If you think I'm just blowing smoke, Lenny's. Every now and then Lenny's truthful. Mm-hmm. Oh, me. We are going to talk high school football, and we're going to give a lot of the scores from last night and talk about a couple of conference races and things like that. But there are two games today, two games scheduled today, and East Burke and Newton Conover play at noon today. Maiden has homecoming tonight against West Caldwell. Kickoff theirs at 7:30. And you might wonder why there are two games today, and we're going to talk with the Catawba Valley Conference Commissioner Butch Parker here a little bit. Butch, talk to us a little bit. Tell us why games are today and what effect COVID has had on the football season.
Thank you, David. I appreciate that, giving me this time, and I hope I won't monopolize your time and talk about my Cardinals or anything. But anyway,
we'll beep that out.
I'm going to leave that out until the end. But no, I had the pleasure last night to attend the Bunker Hill West Lincoln football game, and it was a very, very hard-fought, good game to watch. But there were several components there that happened, and I was probably asked at least 15 different times to explain the rescheduling process and what it entails and all. And it's not a simple situation. It's got a lot of moving parts, and to do it fairly and right is very difficult. And in this case, just for a moment, think about East Burke is going to be playing 4 football games in 11 days.
Oh, God.
That's a lot of wear and tear on young athletes' body.
Oh, yeah.
Especially after coming off limited practice and things, and those kids are to be commended for doing that. And because again, we're so concerned about their health and safety. But we're trying to get all the conference games in, and not have any of these no contest in the conference anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason the games are today, and there'll be another Saturday game next week, and it's all part of the one situation that occurred with East Burke, is with the 10-day quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
They lost 2 games. They couldn't play 2 games. And so what it turned out doing, it affected 5 different games and 5 different teams. One of them, of course, including East Burke. And that's what's troubling me about the makeup situation, is it just affects the whole schedule when you do it. And I'll just give Maiden East Burke instance, is they had to postpone and did not play that Friday. East Burke wasn't exactly sure how many when they were going to be back, but we went ahead and scheduled the game for the following Tuesday, not the Tuesday of the rescheduled game, but the following Tuesday. And then in order to do that, Maiden had to move this coming game, moved it to Saturday. We could have played it on Friday night, but because the 72 hours ends at the 72nd hour. And so if you got a 7:30 game and you played the other night at 7:30, you kick off the second one at 7:31. And fortunately, the ADs in the conference and the coaches have all kind of worked together and at least gave everybody a half a day extra to heal those kids up, especially from a tough game they had.
Right.
But anyway, so that game was played Tuesday night up at East Burke. Today, Maiden and West Caldwell will play on Saturday. East Burke will play again on Tuesday, and then they'll have to turn around again and play the following game on Friday. So like I say, when you take that period of time, that's 4 games.
Whoa. How can they play on Friday?
If they play Tuesday?
Yeah.
They play Friday.
Well, I thought that's the reason we had to play on Saturday, because you had to have 3 days in between.
No, that's what I just trying to explain. It's
I just want to make sure.
It's 72 hours.
So the 1 minute thing helps you. The going 1 minute
makes it allowable to do that. But again, in the Maiden case and the Bandy's case, they moved their games automatically to Saturday, and
okay.
And Newton did the same thing, so they could play. East Burke had a little more time.
I follow now. That's my fault. I missed that, but that's my fault.
That's what I say. Last year, the 72 hours was up, and you played the next day.
Right.
When the 72 hours is up, they say you can play.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know how smart that is. That's not my decision. But
if you think about it, you really hadn't played. You hadn't gone 72 hours because you didn't finish at 7:30.
But you started it.
Yeah.
You started between games, 3 games, 3 days.
72 hours between starts.
Yes, exactly.
Start times, yeah.
That's it. And again, like I say, Bandy's had to rearrange their schedule. Newton had to adjust their schedule. East Burke and West Caldwell and Maiden had to adjust their schedule. So it's not like a rain game where you just we'll play the next available day.
Yeah.
And you can't do it. And I think that's asking an awful lot out of our athletes. And, in the situation that I'm talking about from yesterday occurred, and I sincerely want to tip my hat to the ADs and the principals, the coaches, the players in our conference for being accommodating to the situation. We agreed to do that, and not only does the state have a toolbox, a toolkit, or whatever that you have to follow to reschedule them, the conference itself kind of voted in a little extra stuff too, just to maintain the integrity of the game. And the case I'm talking about yesterday, and I'm telling you, Preston Clark and James Bird and Albert Reed at Bunker Hill are to be commended for how they handled their situation. They got an 11th hour surprise yesterday, Friday.
Yes.
And they found out that they had an integral part of their football team that was being quarantined. He wasn't positive for COVID, but he was around somebody that was.
Right.
And so that took that part out of the game. They had 3 hours.
That would be the quarterback. I'll say it.
I said it was a general football team. And Coach Reed and his staff out there, they got their gifts together and they explained what the deal was, and this is what we got to do. And we ain't hanging our heads. We're going to go play, because it's just when you got one player, you can't postpone a whole game. You just can't do it.
Yes, you can. I'll tell you, I got 15. How do you avoid that?
Do what now?
How do you avoid them not telling you, well, we got 15 out?
Because
trust factor?
No, I can tell you how we avoid it. Because the integrity of the coaches and the administrators of the teams involved. I mean, they were, and up front, I talked with them when the situation arose, and they said, we got to play. I mean, we hate it, but we got to play. And they did that. They very easily could have, David. All they had to do,
and I'm not saying that they would ever do it. That's not where I'm going. But I bet you it happens. Oh,
I can.
In the state and across the country, it happens.
Poor faith in human nature.
I can assure you it's happened across the country, across the state, and maybe in this area.
Right.
But and again, that's what I'm applauding is the Bunker Hill administration for being open and forthright, and plus the kid himself, because he followed policy and self-reported that he had been exposed to this person with the positive COVID.
And that's got to be hard to do on game night when you know you're going to get to go out there and play if you just don't say anything.
Very difficult. And again, that's the part I was wanting to make. That we've got people like that educating these young people, and I'm proud of them.
Right.
And proud to be associated with them. And again, it was a heck of a football game last night. It was a very difficult loss for West Lincoln. And but again, it is what it is. And then we're dealing also with local LEAs having different procedures now with the COVID, as far as contact tracing, quarantine times. And again, so it just tells you it's just not easy to move games around all of a sudden when you got to get it done and get it in.
Yep. Domino effect.
That's the nature of the beast, and that's basically the only part. I mean, that's the reason I actually talked to you this morning and said I'd like to explain this so everybody understands what's going on when they say. Just like I have a beautiful niece who's in the homecoming court today, in Maiden High School, and when she heard that she got to change her hair appointment and all this stuff. I'm like, sorry, honey, I love you, but we got to do what we got to do. The Maiden Band's traveling. They're at a competition, and they're not going to stay around for the award ceremony. They got to get back to the field to Maiden High School because it's homecoming. You can't do homecoming without the band.
That's right.
There's a lot of moving parts to this deal, but like I say, I just applaud the integrity of our entire, because of they're doing their best to accommodate people. And I will shut up and let you guys get on with the scores, which I'm sure most people are very interested in.
We appreciate your time, Butch. We appreciate it, and straightening us out with the facts. You even got me on one there, so I appreciate it.
And I'm honored by that, truth. Trust me. I don't like picking on the professor. I really don't. But
oh, you're getting on both of them this morning. I like it. Get them.
Yeah.
Get them.
But anyway, great to talk to you. Thank you for giving me a little time. And if any of you shows up at Brookwood, I'll be there.
All
right, my man.
That's a date.
Thank you, Butch.
Go Cards.
Okay, we'll see. Thank you. All right, so there you have it, a rundown of why what affects one team doesn't really just affect one team.
The domino effect.
Yeah. And it doesn't just really affect two teams, the one you're playing that week,
yeah.
because it moves so many games around. And I'm sure we're not the only conference that's gone through that kind of thing and had to do that kind of stuff. So, but, we got more listeners than we do watchers. So show of hands, how many of you guys would have went ahead and been quiet and played last night? Show of hands here. I would have been quiet. I can't lie. I probably would have just said, you know what? We're in the conference race. We're undefeated. So you gotta, applaud that guy for being truthful and they won the game. Just an interesting story there. But I know. I don't know what I would have done. I say I would have just been quiet and played, but I don't know till it hits you and affects you. You really don't know which way you go, right?
Yeah.
But it is a lot of integrity there. I will say that, to do what he did.
Well, that's been one of the problems of this whole pandemic, people not being responsible. So I would like to think I would have stood up and made that admission that I'd been in contact with someone. But again, I don't know.
Two things real quick from Lenny before we get into high school football scores. Number one, he says Chris Sale needs to pitch a gym and go the distance, and that won't happen, is what he says. And he says Jeff Collins is the Georgia Tech coach. Would you guys have known that? Would anybody have known that Jeff Collins,
I would not have known that.
I'm going to guess after some of these games, Jeff Collins has a couple Tom Collins. And
nice one. One of the best lines of the morning.
Nothing wrong with that. He might even have some with Jagger down at the Thirsty Beaver, right? Rocky Mount beat Nash Central. I know Brett has been anticipating hearing that one. You guys got the scoreboard pulled up?
Yes.
Look at that first score listed there.
Mine's probably not in the same
Pungo Christian Academy, which I don't know where it is, and LAAS Co-op.
PCA.
And that's the one I want to know.
LAAS.
What is the LAAS Co-op? I mean, this is more new schools pop up, it seems like, weekly.
It does.
On our
Lawrence Academy / Albemarle School.
Wow.
And they were a winner over your Pungo
In
Christian.
Maryhill, North Carolina.
Maryhill. I don't know that I've ever been to
Mary.
Mary
Is that two words or one?
Two.
And is it MERRY or is it like Merry Christmas?
MERRY.
Mary Hill. How about that?
It says they're 2-5. Already played 7 games.
Is all that fictitious, or does it exist?
I don't know.
I'm going to give as
They
many
played a
scores
lot
as I
of
can
out-of-state teams.
just so I don't leave much dead time. We're just going to run through some of these. Northern Nash beat Roanoke Rapids 42-17. I will skip some too. That trying to find more West scores than East scores, obviously, but the East is pretty dominant, at least at the top here. Clayton 40, Southeast Raleigh 18, Tarboro over Yates County. Somebody asked me last night, is Tarboro still good? Are they doing well? I think they lost their first game of the year, but I don't think they've lost since. And I may be wrong about that. I'm going on memory, which isn't great.
They're 6-1.
Okay, 42-8 last night. So they played 7 games in.
They did lose their first one to Rocky Mount.
7 weeks. Rocky Mount, a very good team too, by the way. No shame in losing that particular game. Sanderson beat Athens Drive 42-21. Hobton falls to Rosewood 55-25. Fairmont over East Bladen 20-8. Christ the King falls to Pine Lake Prep. Pine Lake Prep, I think, it seems like they're winning about every week when we call out their scores, aren't they? They're having a pretty good season. 41-16 last night for Pine Lake Prep. R.J. Reynolds rolls over Parkland 49-0. Wake Forest over Knightdale 40-18. Cape Fear, Mike, missing the score. You want to drive down there and get it?
Yeah, I need that one for Katie's sake.
We need you to drive down there and see what happened. Why are we missing that score? Do an investigation.
I want that Cape Fear score.
Apex beat Green Level 42-27. Heritage over Millbrook 35-17. Butler rolls over East Mac 52-0. Holly Springs over Cary 21-6. Aiden Grifton falls to Green Central 36-20. Manteo falls to Currituck County 42-28. Southern Alamance 35. Chapel Hill 27. North Mac over Mallard Creek. Surprise? 17-14. I know Mallard Creek's not the Mallard Creek of old, but I don't know. I'm North Mac winning by 3 points in a low-scoring game there. To me, just a little bit of a surprise. Let's see. Charlotte Christian falls. How good is Rayburn Gap? Charlotte Christian losing 23-10 there in I'm guessing a battle of privates. I know Charlotte Christian is usually a private school powerhouse. North Iredell. How about North Lincoln on the road? These teams are these Lincoln County teams are going to have some success in this conference. Right now.
Yeah, they're getting ready to clean
play.
up.
I got the best score of the game of the year coming up in a minute. But,
I know which one you're looking at.
But first, let's do this. It looks like it's the Dodgers and the Giants.
Yeah.
But the North Lincoln last night on the road at North Iredell. North Iredell won 2 in a row. They had gone 3 years, I think, without a win. North Iredell won 2 in a row, but North Lincoln goes down there last night, dominant first half. They win 50-0 over North Iredell. Asheville and AC Reynolds.
Yeah.
So there you go. Is it a Legion game? Is it a high school baseball game?
I had to look. I looked on Twitter just to make sure that was the correct
Is that right?
score. It is
6-5.
no touchdowns.
You guys follow Scoregami? Laney, do you follow Scoregami? You would like to follow Scoregami. It's pretty interesting because it'll show you has that score ever happened before, and you can watch it for college football and NFL football, and you'd be surprised that. I mean, I don't know how they come up with this so quick, but they'll say, yeah, that one's happened 52 times, and the last time was this.
Yeah.
I mean, this is all computerized, I'm sure, but that's got to be a scoregami right there for high school football. There can't be too many 6-5 high school football games. And it is the second time this year that I remember a final score of 5 because North Lincoln lost to Statesville 14-5 a few weeks back. That's odd.
Yeah.
A safety and a
The
field
one
goal.
that I would think would be even more rare would be 5-4.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the rare should be 2-1.
You think there's ever been a 3-2? 3-2 game?
Yeah.
This is changing the subject just for a second. I don't want to stay on it long, but do you guys realize now that in college football overtime, in the third overtime, it's all 2-point conversions?
Yeah.
And nothing else?
Not even go for touchdowns. It's just
2-point conversions.
I like that.
That's weird, isn't it? Which I like, and I like because you won't see the really lopsided. I mean, the outlandish scores of 70-something.
Yeah.
Right.
If it goes 7 overtimes, you're only going to be able to score 14. 7 extra overtimes. So I do kind of like that. What does it matter? I mean, you get in the end zone or you don't. Is basically what it comes down to. West Charlotte over Hopewell, 55-19. Eastern Alamance over Burlington Williams, 47-26. Let's see, Havelock rolling over Conley, 55-12. North Pitt, 28. Southwest Edgecombe, 0. Forest Hills Falls to Parkwood last night in Monroe, 39-29. Myers Park over Ardrey Kell. Did see some highlights of that one if you guys were awake.
Yeah, I
they
saw
showed
that.
a few highlights. 2 really good teams there going at it. And Myers Park wins 13-7. It tells you how sleepy I was. If you'd asked me this morning, I thought Ardrey Kell won. But scoreboard here says Myers Park was the winner, 13-7. West Carteret over Dixon, 41-8. It was South Johnston over Aycock, 36-35. Let's see. Porter Ridge falls to Marvin Ridge. I think there's a few highlights of that one on Channel 3. Marvin Ridge 16, Porter Ridge 14. Davie County falls to Reagan. How good's this Reagan team all of a sudden coming out of nowhere and seem to be pretty respectable? Love their logo and are they the Pirates? They're the Raiders, right?
Yeah.
Called Reagan Raiders. You would like them, Rodney Willis. 52-14 last night, Reagan over Davie County. Newbern 75, South Central nothing last night. That may be the high score of the week. Overhills over West Harnett 46-0. No idea where Overhills is. Look like the Jaguars, though, according to their logo. Northampton over Southeast Halifax 46-0. McDowell, Lanny's favorite team, over North Buncombe 53-13 last night. I'm going to say it might have been a while since McDowell won a game with that kind of spread. McDowell, he says. He loves to say McDowell. 53-13, a 40-point win in that contest for McDowell. I'm gonna plead ignorance here. I don't know why I can't think of it. What's McDowell's nickname? What's their logo? Why can't I think of it off the top of my head? They should be the Big Macs, right? But what?
I don't know. Are they red, white, and blue? Is that their colors? I can't.
Yes, according to the logo here.
Patriots.
Patriots. I don't know. For some reason, I had Indians in my head, but I don't know. But somebody tell me. I think Lanny's looking it up, and Brett too. Weddington over Piedmont, 49-0. Garinger Independence. The what? The Titans? Yeah. Now, I remember now that I hear it, but it might have took me an hour to come up with it. Let's see. Statesville rolls over Fred T. Ford 56-0. Statesville obviously making themselves the clear-cut favorite to win that conference. Their biggest test at the end of the year is going to be Hickory when they face Hickory in Week 10.
Well, they've already toppled their
East Lincoln
and yeah, it's just
and
clear
North Lincoln.
selling,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm with you. Panther Creek beat Apex Friendship. Apex was too friendly. They got beat 28-14 last night. West Rowan over Northwest Cabarrus 41-6. I'm gonna tell you, some of these teams must be pretty good because I saw Northwest Cabarrus at the beginning of the year, and Brett did too. I thought they were pretty good,
I saw that,
but
yeah,
their record is not. I don't know. They maybe it's maybe one game. Can't remember exactly.
Well, so that's how much stock you should not put in scrimmages.
Exactly. Vance County beat Carborough, not Tarboro, but Carborough with a C, 36-12. Kinston defeats Southwest Onslow, 28-21. Wallace Rosehill rolls over North Lenoir, 69-6. How many people think North Lenoir is up in the Caldwell County?
It's easy to make that mistake.
Yeah, I'll be going to North Lenoir next week.
Smithfield Selma 42, Fike 14. Northeastern over Hertford County 28-6. Franklinton over Bunn 14-13. Charlotte Latin over Christ School. That's a pretty good win for Charlotte Latin, right? Butch can tell you that. Latin wins 24-14 over Christ School. Cuthbertson over Sun Valley 39-21. East Lincoln rolls over West Iredale 45-0. And Brett, to answer your question that you've had about this game now for about 12 hours, the answer is no.
He did not play.
He did not play last night according to the box. And that would be Tyler Mazzell, the quarterback from East Lincoln, who was injured because the touchdown passes came from bowling.
Yeah, it would make sense. I mean, he's probably not ready. We saw on Twitter that he was Mazzell was practicing and throwing, but you figure you're going to win that game anyway, and just hold him out till I don't know. Do you play? I don't know, who would they play?
North Lincoln. Unfortunately,
well, you probably want to get him back a game before that.
Get the rust out. They'll bring him back as soon as he's ready.
Yeah,
and he practiced this week. I look for him to play some next week.
I'm surprised they scored 38 in the first quarter.
Yeah,
I mean, they probably had short fields. They could run a punt back, kickoff back.
What the one bright spot of this, and I know it's hurt their chances to win a conference title, but the freshman is gaining experience. I saw him against Hickory. He didn't do a bad job, just thrown into the fire. Bowling, I think he's got a bright future. He's going to have to get obviously physically develop more, but let's face it, how many freshmen get this opportunity at quarterback?
Keep up with this. I'm going to do this real fast, okay? Hal Johnson, 9-yard run. This is East Lincoln scoring summary. Hal Johnson, that's Orlando's Hal Johnson, the running back. Brad already got this one right. Walker, 11-yard interception return. So you said they could have been a pick six. Yep. Gleason, 30-yard pass from Bowling. Hal Johnson, 1-yard run. Walker, 3-yard pass from Bowling. And Smith, a 9-yard run.
Yep.
So there you
go. Kendra Walker, he's a good-looking young receiver for them.
Yep. So East Lincoln is now 4-2.
Yep,
4-2 on the season, and 1-2 in conference play because they did suffer a couple conference losses.
That Hickory game is going to come back to haunt them.
It could. Mm-hmm. But just at this point with the injuries they've had, they just got to get in the playoffs, right? You just got to get in the playoffs, exactly. and then that's one goal achieved. Mm-hmm. Cardinal Gibbons beat Unlow last night, 37-0. Concord over Carson, 27-7. Community School of Davidson, 35. Winston-Salem Carver, 12. Cleveland over Fuquay, 49-6. Northwood, 21. Person 7. One person. Did you hear how that come out? 21 person. They beat one person. That's not fair. Princeton, 28. Eastern Wayne, 6. Catholic over Rocky River, 31-13. Pamlico falls to Southside, 58-38. Let's see. West Johnson over East Wake, 33-20. Farmville Central falls to Washington. The Pam Pack seemed to have bounced back this year, playing some pretty solid football. 62-6 last night. And that one, of course, Farmville Central scores 62.5 in basketball. That's a big-time basketball school. North Johnston over Spring Creek, 28-6. Hickory Hawks beat the Virginia Spartans, 40-0. Mountain Island Charter, 42. Winston-Salem Prep, 14. J.H. Rose, 55. Northside Jacksonville, 3. That's Northside Jacksonville wants a perennial power in the East in 2A. That's a thumping they took last night in that matchup with, who did I say? J.H. Rose out of Greenville. Elkin falls to Surrey Central, 27-14. Glenn over West Forsyth, 22-13. This one got us all, I think. I'm not surprised High Brighton beat Freedom last night, but this game was 35-0 the first time I checked the score. And High Brighton beat Freedom last night in Morganton, 42-14. That's
so High Brighton goes from losing to South Caldwell in a squeaker to blowing out Freedom
on the road. And I would have lost money there had there been money exchanged. I would have lost money for sure. Ashbrook rolls. That's their first win, right? They beat North Gaston last night, 47-20. I think it's their first win.
I think that's their first win.
You don't? Okay.
No.
Which team?
Ashbrook. I was just wondering. I just
Could
couldn't
be
recall them winning, but they win
I'm
last
not sure.
night. Newton Conover East Burke. That one's at high noon today, and it looks here like it's East Burke. I don't know why I thought for a while that game was at Newton, but it looks like it's at East Burke. Central Davidson over Ledford, 46-34. Northern Guilford over Southwest Guilford. Guilford has more directional schools than a compass, 38-13. Owen and Mountain Heritage. Don't see a score here, but I know Mountain Heritage won that game big. I want to say 37-0 because I saw it, but it's not listed here on the Max Prep scoreboard. Nothing on East Surrey Wilkes Central. Nothing on Huss and Kramer. Did you see anything on Huss and Kramer, Mike Powell?
Did not.
Allegheny and North Stokes, also no score to be reported here. McMichael beat Lexington 51-18. It was just last week we saw McMichael beat T.W. Andrews, right? By a lot.
Yeah, it was.
And this is a team that's really struggled for years in McMichael, but all of a sudden they look like maybe a playoff team coming up late on down the road here. Richmond County over Hope County, 47-14. North Stanley over Union Academy, 49-0. North Rowan East Davidson, 33-32. North Rowan comes out on top. South Stokes beat East Wilkes 34-28. Whiteville 62, East Columbus nothing. This is a game right here now. Murphy 29, Cherokee 28. Think there was a crowd at Cherokee last night for that contest.
Should have been.
North Davidson 51, Montgomery Central 7. North Forsyth 54, T.W. Andrews 24. Lake Norman 17. West Cabarrus 3. Well, Lake Norman High was in the news this week too. Did something happen there? Some kind of incident or something? I saw something on the news about Lake Norman High, and I can't remember what it was. And unfortunately, I don't think it was.
It wasn't positive.
No, I don't think so. Pisgah beat Franklin. Very good game. Rivalry game last night in the mountains. Pisgah 20, Franklin 16. Dudley rolls over Ben L. Smith 72-6. Southview over Lumberton 49-0. Grays Creek over Douglas Bird 48-0. Oak Grove 50, Ashboro 14. Hickory Ridge over South Iredale 42-16. Mount Pleasant 44, South Stanley nothing. Brevard 42, East Henderson nothing. Patton over Cherryville. Mike, it's the first time I've seen this score. It's only one pick Cherryville last night. Hoping for a win here.
Well,
in
the two best players were injured.
Yeah, you didn't tell me that, did you? Thank you for keeping that inside information inside.
Well, yeah. I didn't know it until later in the week after you'd already made your picks.
Yeah. 22-14 Patton.
Okay. Good game
over Cherryville. Let me tell you how this is kind of things that go through my mind on Fridays when I hear somebody's hurt and not going to play. When I heard the Bunker Hill guy was hurt yesterday, it went in my mind, should I be nice to Juju and say, look, their quarterback's out. I've already heard their backup's probably not going to be playing either, and they're going to go to the JV quarterback. I was going to say, Juju, you're the only one pick Bunker Hill. Here's the injury report. Do you want to change your pick? And I would have let him. Good thing I didn't call him, right? Because Bunker Hill wound up winning. If I'd have talked him into changing, I'd have felt guilty, right? Nah.
Well, nobody changes after 9 a.m. on Friday, right? That's the deadline.
The deadline's kickoff.
Okay.
Or all I need is time to send out an email and everybody knows that they changed it. Because guess what? If somebody comes down with 10 players can't play, 10 starters are out because of COVID, I'm going to let every single person change it if they want to. You know what I mean?
I haven't really thought about that.
Because, it still hasn't started. It's just like when you do your picks on this pick'em game that Laney's got us in. If you change it before kickoff, you're fine. You know
Yeah, I do mine on Tuesday, but if I hear something like that,
go back and
yeah, I'll get on there and change it.
But
Glad you reminded me. I got to make my picks right after this.
Juju, don't think I did you wrong by not telling you, but because I actually did you right because you got that one and you were the only one.
I cannot find the Kramer Hunter Huss score anywhere.
It makes me wonder if they played.
That's a great question.
Smoky Mountain over West Henderson, 42-28. Mount Airy over Starmount, 43-0. Pinecrest, 47. Southern Lee 3. Cox Mill over A.L. Brown, 16-3. High scoring game this last night in Robbinsville, and Robbinsville goes down. Broome, is that where is Broome? That's not in North Carolina. No, I know.
I found it. Kramer beat Huss 33-2.
33-2. Scorigami.
What in the world has happened to Huss? I mean, they're just getting drilled.
Yeah, they are in the loss column.
Did you give the East Gaston Thomas Jefferson score?
Yeah.
Looked like it was a good game.
Yeah, it was tied late. It was a high scoring game.
Well, I saw it was 35 all.
East Gaston won 42-37.
Wow.
Okay. Another safety. Yeah, I saw it was 35 all one time because I showed it to Mike. I said, look at this score, and it's 35
Yeah,
all.
East Gaston is the one,
most improved area team of the year.
Yeah, and Thomas Jefferson is probably the only 1A team in that conference that can actually, put up resistance or make it a game against these 2A teams.
Some of the teams that we talk about, year in and year out, and usually a strong tradition and stuff. Starmount's one of those, and Starmount last night lost to Mount Airy 43-0. Rivalry game there, and they lose that game handily to Mount Airy. West Henderson falls to Smoky Mountain 42-28. Pinecrest over Southern Lee. I already gave that one. I did. Robbinsville is where I got to. Robbinsville losing to Broome 46-43. Watauga, I tell you what, ever since they've got their quarterback back, they've been a different team. They won last night over South Caldwell by 34, 56-22 in that win. Man, I tell you, I feel bad for Robbinsville. According to the scoreboard, they had a doubleheader, and the last game must have been so late they didn't get it in. Did you see that scoreboard? Got them playing Swain County as well? Don't think that's right. Robinson High School out of the Concord area, 66-0 over Albemarle. Reidsville, this score is messed up on my board at one time because I saw a score last night that showed Reidsville 28, Walkertown 20 in the fourth quarter. If this final was correct, that couldn't be because Reidsville won 38-8. Either that or Reidsville's defense is so good they took some points off the board. Kings Mountain beat Forest View 28-14. I'm gonna tell you this, guys. You guys know how I feel about Forest View. If you score 28 points against Forest View, you got a pretty good offense because Forest View's got one of the best defenses I've seen. Mm-hmm. Shelby defeats Highland Tech 72-0. How many of those came in the first quarter?
I think they have 44.
44 in the first quarter of that game last night.
And again, just reinforcing the hopeless nature of this conference in terms of football.
Yeah. There are some lopsided games, and we're going to see 3 years of that, Mike. Like you keep.
And I just worry about these
health
outman teams, guys getting hurt, and that's a concern.
Bunker Hill beat West Lincoln last night, 15-7. Thanks to Rodney Willis keeping me updated on that one throughout the night. Southern Guilford beat Atkins 22-2. Scorigami.
I think I've seen 3 games where a team finished with 2 points.
How about that? One of the best games of the night happened in Bowling Springs last night. Crest, come from behind, beat South Point 27-26. First score I saw on this one, South Point was up 21-7. As the first score I saw.
It was 20-7.
20-7, okay.
And that point made a big difference.
Yeah, it did. Yes, it did. Yeah.
And I think South Point missed a field goal as time expired, but I think it was a long field goal attempt.
Alexander Central beat Ashe County 42-36. I think Mike and I looked at this score last night, and it was 36-all. Maybe it was me and you, Brett. Saw that score was very high scoring and even. And then Alexander wins it 42-36.
That Broome
makes me wonder
that Robbinsville played there in Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Yeah. I'd heard of the high school. But
Broome Centurions.
What classification are they?
Great nickname.
3A. South Carolina 3A.
I don't know, Mike. You want that across your shirt?
I just think it's a cool name.
It is cool. It's long, though.
Yeah.
It's a lot. What would they shorten it to? Cents?
Sense.
Yeah.
Sense. Go Sense.
Oh, Lord. Southeast
Ions.
Guilford, the Ions. Southeast Guilford 50, Ragsdale nothing. Ragsville, remember, they used to be a strong team year in and year out as well. This one is strong right now. Salisbury 64, South Davidson nothing. I think it's the fourth or fifth time Salisbury scored over 50. Yeah, 64 last night, and they've got quite a few shutouts too.
I wonder
if I recall.
what kind of quarterback they have this year, because we saw how good their quarterback was really good last year. And
I
that,
think
that was going to be their key loss.
Yeah, I think they let him come back for another year because of COVID. With the scores, that's what it looks like, right? Mitchell County beat Drone 62-14. Chesney over Legion Collegiate Academy 28-21. Eastern Randolph over Southwest Randolph 32-14. West Stokes 20, Moorhead 14. Lincoln 27 unanswered points in the second half, come from behind for the second straight week. They beat Bandy's last night 27-7. East Gaston defeats Thomas Jefferson 42-37. You guys said they're 4-2 now.
Mm-hmm.
Big turn for East Gaston.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it's probably been a while since they won 4 games.
Yeah. It's been years.
I think so.
It has
Yeah.
been.
Yeah. Hats off to what's going on down there, and the coach is. I have to look up the name because I can't tell you, but I'd heard. I tell you what, Joe Glass told me that when that coach went there, that they would be successful. He told me that he thought they would be successful.
It's been prophetic so
yeah.
far.
Yep. Hendersonville. This one, does this surprise you? The way they
It
beat
did,
Chase
yeah.
last night, 42-9.
I thought that'd be a good game.
Yeah, 42-9 Hendersonville with that win. Burns over Bessemer City 42-0. Madison over Rosman 48-0. And no score from the Asheville Saints and the Tennessee Silverbacks. So, Mike, I'm going to put you on that one as well.
Yeah, I'll research that one.
We're going to take one last time out. My throat is sore after all those scores. We'll come back and wrap up Sports Talk in a moment.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stiefel Nicholas can assist you. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stiefel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
And welcome back. Got a couple comments here from Lenny.
Okay.
Here's what Lenny says about the Red Sox chances. Mike, you ready?
Yeah.
Here's proof of how bad Boston bullpen is. Nathan Eovaldi was 9-4 at the All-Star break. Current record is 11-9, but that can be misleading. Of his 15 starts since the All-Star game, and this ain't even the bullpen, it is the start of his 15 starts since the All-Star game. He was leading 10 of those games when he left the game. Yeah, it is about the bullpen. He also, he was leading 10 and then lost it. He also has the fifth best American League ERA since the All-Star game. That sums it up as to how pathetic the Red Sox bullpen is. Lenny also says, I didn't know until this week that the quarterback at Myers Park, Lucas Linhoff, y'all know anything about that?
Nope.
Lucas Linhoff, the quarterback at Myers Park, is a COVID transfer from, any guesses? And even brought some of his teammates with him. California. California. Now that's serious recruiting.
Yeah.
That's getting it done.
Wow.
Bringing in the, yeah. You know, I mean, you never know what the. I'm kidding about the recruiting. You know, I don't ever want to get caught in a recruiting war or whatever, especially high school. But you don't recruit somebody from California. Let's face it.
No.
He had family. I'm guessing somebody's got family that lives in Charlotte. They said, "Come here."
He could have found a state a little closer to home.
Yeah, I mean,
that was playing football.
Well, if it was about that, he could, yeah, right. I mean, he could have went, anywhere and played, and it's probably because there was some kind of connection, or you never even know. Maybe a job took, somebody somewhere, and things like that, or maybe it's the next places a parent could get a job in the field that they were in, especially if it's in the banking industry, right? But that is interesting. I didn't know that a kid transferred from California. I wonder what high school he was at. Not that it matters.
Later
but,
D.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering. But I doubt it. I doubt it. If you're the quarterback there, you're probably going to stick around. Unless you're a backup and you see some writing on the wall that you might not get your opportunity. We loved, we're just wrapping up here. West Lincoln losing a heartbreaker again last night. Back-to-back weeks they've lost one possession games.
Very tough.
That's really tough, I'm sure, to lose one like that. But you got to give Bunker Hill credit, playing shorthanded out their quarterback, find a way to win at
Yeah,
home
most-
and remain undefeated. Well, are we forgetting that?
That's right.
That they remain undefeated.
I just find it remarkable if indeed they did use a JV quarterback. Like that happened with East Lincoln against Hickory, and they just couldn't do anything. That's pretty remarkable that Bunker Hill was able to overcome that obstacle and beat a good, a solid team like West Lincoln.
Yeah, and David Avery, I know David's listening this morning. I just want to mention, another tough break for you guys last night. David sent me a message, and I just want him to know I got the message.
Right.
It's just a personal message between me and him, but I just want him to know I got it. I hadn't mentioned it, so I didn't want him to think. My phone has been crazy this week. I can promise you. I get voicemails that are 4 days old. I get texts that don't come through.
Me too.
I don't know what's going on.
I had that happen to me.
Yeah.
Text should have gotten, but
I'm either going to have
saw
to,
it 2 days later.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to do. I guess it's time for me to get a new phone because this one's not doing good. I've cut it off and back on about 20 times in the last 3 or 4 days, but sometimes that works. But right now it doesn't seem to be the answer. So, but I did get this one, Dave, and tough break last night. As we said, only the 2 games on all that were played last night in the CVAC, and Lincoln got their second straight win. Whenever Bandy's and Mike Bandy's had chances to be up more in the first half, and when they didn't, they left the door open for Lincoln.
Well, like you said, the theme's got to be for Lincoln, and glass is half full at halftime, right? No pun intended about Joe Glass, but you said they were down 17-7 against Newton Conover
At halftime.
And down 7-0 here. Could have been down 21-0 very easily.
I think so too, if not more.
Just dominated. Great second
The
half.
whole first half was played on the Lincoln end. Bandy's was knocking on the door scoring every time they got the ball.
Uh-huh.
And somehow Lincoln's defense kept them in the game till the offense got clicking.
You said that the theme for Lincoln and their improvement has been they've been hanging their hat on their defense, and I think that's a good place to hang it.
Yeah, their defense, and a lot of people that have been to all their games will tell you they could. I won't say easily. They could have won 3 of the others, three of the losses.
I did
they
see
feel like they could have won, and they played good enough defense.
Yeah, I saw the East Lincoln game, and they certainly had their chances there.
Special teams cost them in a couple of those games, but they seem to be improving on special teams a little bit each week. They had a couple flaws last night. There was a punt caught on the 5 that probably should have let that go and bounce in the end zone, and then they also punted one out of bounds.
That was very dangerous. Yep. Reminded shades of 1994. Kevin McLean tried to catch one on the 5 against Wallace Rose Hill, fumbles it.
And calling him out.
I'm still bitter about that one. It was early. It was fairly. I don't remember. I just remember that. You catch the ball on the 5, you're taking a chance.
Lincoln muffed. I'm not going to tell who it was, but Lincoln muffed a punt in their championship game against Clinton.
That's right.
Where they would have had great field position.
Punter won that game.
Yeah,
the Clinton Lincoln team.
My apologies to Kevin.
MVP.
Kevin's was a great high school player.
He
really was,
yeah.
And everything he did certainly.
Yep.
You don't want to remember him, but just because of that one play.
Yep. Lenny says, I think East Gaston best record since Greg Lloyd took them to the 3rd round in the early 2000s. Talking about their football team at East Gaston and the big turnaround. Yeah. I want to mention this, and then we got to go off the air. It's breakfast time, but I got to say this real quick. We went to the Stones concert the other night. Lenny, you're like this. Mike Powell's the 3rd oldest guy there.
I saw it on TV. I thought he was one of the youngest.
He was the 3rd oldest guy. The 3rd oldest
Brett
guy.
was one of the youngest guys there.
Mick, Keith, and Mike, the 3 oldest at the concert the other night.
Hey, if I'm still rocking like Jagger at 78, I'll be very happy.
I'm not even rocking like Jagger.
If I'm walking half as
I'm not even rocking like Jagger to 38 that I am. Appreciate you tuning in this morning. We've had a good time. Catch high school, college, pro football this weekend. It should be terrific. For Mike and Brad, I'm David. See you next week.